Hello and welcome back to another Source SDK 101 video tutorial. Today though we're going to be doing something a little more advanced than we're used to. We're going to be making caves with displacements. Alright, so this might take a little while, so we're going to get started right away. First thing you're going to do, you can make them any size you want, but basically I like to use 512 by 512 and then 64 height for the bottom part, and you throw a character down, player model down. That's a little big, but it depends on how big you want your cave. You could have it narrow or basic size. So, and then what you're going to want to do is, depending on how tall you want it, I don't want it super tall, so I'm gonna go with 192, 64 length or width, and 512 length. And then you're going to shift drag that to the other side and then shift drag this up to the top, so you have a sort of box type of thing that will serve as basically a base for your cave. And actually I'm going to make this a little smaller because it is pretty big, honestly. Because I mean, a cave, you can make it whatever size you want, like I said, but that's a little better. Alright, get rid of him. And now what we're going to do is, this is just a little tunnel part of the cave. And so now what I'm going to do is, you can start making the cave. You do a basic layout of what you want by rotating this. We'll connect it all later, so don't worry how big gaps are and that sort of thing. And basically I'm only going to do 3 because some techniques in this take a little long, and I don't want to waste that time doing a huge cave system, so we'll do it this way. And this is a more advanced cave. There are simpler ways of doing this, and but I think this method works, is one of the best ways of it working, so we're going to stick with this. And now basically what you're going to do is you select every brush that you have in the cave, and you are going to start matching up the vertices. So this one you always have to select like that because there's a big amount. So, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to meet each one halfway. Keep it on a relatively large sized grid so it's a little easier to snap them, because when you have a smaller grid you might not know where halfway is, and this one's not going to let me do this right. So there we go. And you just connect it like this. Like I said, this is going to take a lot less time for me because of, I made this cave a lot smaller than it could have been. So, and basically you just manipulate it the way that you want it to end up. And see, this is what one of the lengthy parts of this tutorial. So if I made a larger cave, it would take quite a long time. And I could edit it and speed it up, but I don't really feel like it. So basically, there you go. As you can see, this is an interior sort of area, and that's good. So when you've finished all that with your cave, you're going to want to hold down Control with the Face Edit Sheet tool and select all of the interior textures. Oops. This is one of the reasons why this can take quite a long time, because you'll have to select every interior texture, and make sure you don't select any exterior textures, because this is going to be all you see. Now we're going to go to Displacement with all of these selected, create power of 3, okay, and there you see now you have displacements. It gets rid of the exterior parts, which is why you only wanted the interior for the displacement, but it still doesn't look like a cave. It's still just a box, and we don't want boxes, we want caves. So what we're going to do, and hopefully this won't freeze my computer because I'm on a laptop right now, which is not running very fast. With all the displacements selected, we're going to hit subdivide. Oh, that didn't take long at all. Alright. See, and if you have a large cave, this will take quite a long time because it basically rounds out everything. So now you have a tube, and you don't want a tube, but you still want a cave. But notice that the ends will kind of flatten out, which is very helpful for making the cave, go out into like a valley or into a building. Alright, so to do, sorry the thing kind of closed on me, recording software. So now that we have this all selected, we're going to go to make it bumpy like a cave. And we're going to go to noise, and we're going to make the minimum 2 and the maximum 10. You can fiddle around with the numbers and make it whatever you want, but these are the numbers I find that work pretty well. And then we're going to hit OK, and then all of a sudden it gets all bumpy, and it looks pretty good for now, but it's still no draw. So what we're going to do is we're going to search for rock textures. Notice I have plenty more because in the last tutorial I added in lots of custom rock textures. So now I'm just going to find a good one real fast. It doesn't really matter what you select. You can pick and choose and do whatever you want. So it's probably going to look a little worse for me because I'm not picking anything fast. We're going to go with this one. And basically you're just going to apply the textures to the inside, and notice how it's still a little bit tubular, so what I could do is add a little more noise to it and it would make it more bumpy. So I think I'm going to do that because it does look a little much like a tube still. So we're going to add a little bit of noise. This time I'm going to go 1 and 5 because it adds on, and see how it crunches up a little bit, and that looks pretty good. So now we got a pretty bumpy cave, and you know, it looks pretty good, and it's quite large considering, I mean, it's only 3. It's pretty big actually, considering how, you know, depending on how big your level is. But that is pretty much all there is to it. Just make sure that you seal in your cave over the top with displacement, or not displacements, no draw. So make sure there's no draw brushes, you know, surrounding it, sort of thing. Hollow it out if you have to, it doesn't matter, because displacements do not seal maps. So you have to keep that in mind. So if you just had this out like this, and then I compiled it, it would be all messed up because it would leak. And we don't want leaks. Leaks are bad. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Stay tuned for more videos. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.